All right, I will record. I'm recording now. I'm also, ooh, you like that? Good. Trying to figure out I probably shouldn't have recorded yet. I just want to get I always have the best intentions, you guys. I was going to be all done with this. My morning post, but I'm just doing it right now. So I guess I don't really need that on there. Okay, that's done. Let's move that up. Let's move this right there. I like that better, I think. Sorry, I'm sorry. Reagan's like, feed me. Okay, so I hope you guys had a good weekend. I was telling Stephanie, I don't know if you guys know that my mother-in-law lives with us, and my brother-in-law was here all weekend because he had surgery on his shoulder, and so it was just a lot of people in here, and so parts of my weekend were really good, and parts of it were a little tense, and I'm happy that everyone is back to work, and I have my space back. I think I'm going to leave that there. Instagram, 3, yeah. Okay. Okay, and then that should be done and ready for me to go. Okay. So, quick reminders. Zooms Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Zoom codes and schedule are pinned to the top of Aiming for Ambassador and Wrapping to the Top. I believe tonight it's at 8 Eastern, tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, 1:30 in the afternoon, and Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern. There are also power hours that we can all get involved in if at any time you feel like you just want to work and meet new people. So those are going on. And then tomorrow, I'm doing the Zoom tomorrow afternoon. And I'm going to talk about like my planner and how I use it to kind of organize, kind of what we were talking about last night, how if I work harder like at the beginning of the week, I don't have to work as hard at the end of the week. And just taking that little bit of extra time to organize helps my week flow better. It's really basic stuff because I'm not really great at organizing, but it's what's helping me get organized. So this is like organization 101, like for very, very basic things. And one thing that I'll share with you guys ahead of time is I try to think of a hashtag for every day, because it kind of helps me theme that day. It kind of helps me, like, as I'm planning out my posts, it kind of helps, like, so like for Thursday, that a hashtag that's pretty simple for Thursday is that Throwback Thursday, and or Thankful Thursday, something like that. So when I'm planning, so I think of the hashtag first sometimes, and then so my lifestyle post, kind of my theme for that will be, I have a selfie that I edited, and then I'm going to share a little bit of my story. Not the story that I normally post, but some variation of it that has to do with like a Throwback Thursday type thing, like where I was, One thing, so I asked all of you to message me privately your story and something unique about you. A common hashtag, the idea with a hashtag is that it's something that people can click on and like anywhere and just click on the hashtag, and then it'll direct them to all of the posts that have used that hashtag. So like a common one for Thursday is that TBT or Throwback Thursday. One for Wednesday that I'd like to start doing is that Woman Crush Wednesday, WCW. Want a bite? And I asked you all to share your why or a piece of your story or something unique, because what I'd like to do as my top 10 is I'd like to feature one or two of you each week as like a Woman Crush Wednesday, a woman who has, inspired me or who pushes me to be better. So I know that your stories are really personal, and I'll never post it without asking permission first. So don't freak out if you've sent me your story and you're like, I do not want that posted. I will consult with you first. But that's something that I'm looking to start doing this week. I want to try and showcase you guys, highlight you guys and what you guys, the presence that you are in my life, and still direct that back to what this business is doing. Yeah, Reagan. Okay, so today, I know it's Tuesday, but I felt like I just kind of needed to kick our week off today. And I wanted to share an experience that I had with you on Sunday that I feel like, because it was so prominent to me, it needs to be shared with you. So, not last week, but the week before. Well, let me rewind a little bit. Okay, so I live in Rushville. It's a tiny little town, but a lot of us on this team, like the bigger team, grew up here in Rushville. So like Jamie, our ambassador diamond, grew up here. That's how I knew her, and that's how I signed up with her. Stasha Degner grew up here. Jessica Means grew up here. Amanda Hall grew up here. Lots of people that I'm forgetting. But anyway, a lot of us grew up here in this tiny little town. When I went to college, moved to Bloomington to go to IU, moved to Indy to finish up nursing school, moved to Greenfield after nursing school. Daniel and I got a house there, and we lived there for almost 8 years before it flooded in March and brought us back here to Rushville. I love, love, love my church in Greenfield. Love it. Like, it's the first church that I sought out as an adult and placed membership, and it was like, that's like a big step. And I just loved it so much. So when we moved back here, it's only like a half an hour, 35-minute drive, but that drive on Sundays was enough to keep me from going. So I started going to this other church here that is probably, in this small town, it's probably the closest to that church. And so I started going there, but I felt like I had a little bit of an attitude about it. Like, my mom goes there. She goes to the 8:30 service, and then I would go to the 10:45 service, because there's no way. There's very, very few things I can get up and out of my house at, like, for an 8:30 time frame. So I would go to the 10:45 service, and I just thought, like, well, I'll go, just because I need to go to church, but like, I don't like it. It's not my church, I just kind of had an attitude about it. And this was a year ago last March that I started going. And so I felt my attitude kind of wearing down, like, okay, I like it. But then I was like missing that connection, I need to get my church notes, because there's something I wrote down that I wanted to tell you guys. Just somebody remind me in a few minutes to go get those. Missing that connection, missing like a relationship there. And so I went back to my other church, and then I was going back and forth. And just over the last few months, I've been intentionally praying. Like, I wanted to love this church. I wanted to love this church. I didn't want to not like it. So I'd been intentionally praying for a connection to be made, for it to just feel like home in my heart. And then all of a sudden it did. Like, seriously, one Sunday I showed up and I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I'm supposed to be here. It feels right. So I invited the preacher to come over 2 Thursdays ago, because I told him I was interested in placing membership, and I wanted to talk to him about, that journey and And I wanted to know him because that was important to me. Like, if I'm going to be part of this church, I want to sit down and I want to talk to you because I don't want to get lost in the mix. Like, I want to be known and I want to feel comfortable and welcome there. So I had him over to meet Daniel and the girls and just to hang out for a little bit. Here, Reagan, this will be fun for you. And he said, kind of the deal is you just come up in front and like I'm baptized. And so I just give the confession of faith again. I repeat after him. He said some people get really, really nervous about getting in front of a group of people. And so if that's the case, we can always do it just privately with you and your family. But the idea is that you would get up in front of the church and the church would embrace you. And I was like, well, I really don't have an issue speaking in front of people. That's not it. Like, I'm really excited about this. So my mom wanted to be there for it. And so that first Sunday, I was like really, really wanted to do it. I almost didn't want to wait for my mom. I was like, it just feels so right. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I want to do it. But I wanted to wait for her. She asked that I wait for her. So I didn't place membership that first Sunday after we met. And then this Sunday, my mom was going to be there, and she said, I'll go to that service with you. I won't go to the 8:30 service. I'll go to that service with you. So if you want to do it, that'd be fine. Daniel went with me. Daniel hasn't gone to church with me in over a year since we left Park Chapel. He really liked that church, and he's kind of funny about like new things anyway. And so this was the first Sunday that he had gone, and I'm really on edge when he goes to church with me because I know it's not super comfortable for him. So I'm all like, when he goes to church with me, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's he thinking? Is he like about to crawl out of his skin? Is he going to come back? Like, is it going to be too weird for him? Whatever. So it's not an easy service for me to sit through when he comes with me. And I was feeling anxious. Like, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it had felt the Sunday before. The Sunday before, when it felt like, yes, I just want to walk up there. And then this Sunday, I just was like a little jittery and worried about what he was thinking and not really focused on, not that I wasn't focused on the message. I just wasn't focused like I felt like I was the week before. But then three things happened. First of all, during three things happened. First of all, during the songs at the beginning of the service, you come in and you sing 3 songs and then you do communion and the offering and then the preacher comes up, whatever. So during the first part of church, like the first 3 songs, the third song that they sang is like my favorite song. And they've not, in the last year that I've been going there, a little over a year, I can remember them playing this song like maybe once or twice. And so I was thinking today, Sunday, I was thinking, wish they'd play that song. Like on the drive there, I was thinking, oh dang it. On the drive there, I was thinking like, man, it would be nice to hear that song. And then they played it. And so I'm like, oh, okay. Still feeling nervous. But one of the verses then that they read during, I can't remember if it was during the actual sermon or if it was like during one of the readings that they did, but it was 2 Timothy 1:7, which is, it says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. I like the version that calls that a sound mind. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And so I thought, okay, I'm still nervous, like not even nervous, like I'm afraid to do it. It just was this weird, anxious feeling. And I'm going to just blame it on Daniel being there, I guess. I don't know. Because I was worried about what he was thinking. But in that moment, I thought, okay, it's not going to be easy and it's not going to feel comfortable, but I need to do it. And I want to do it. And I just felt this push, and I felt the urge, like I felt like God was giving me the signs, you know, like, okay, Jen, I played your favorite song for you, and here's this verse that, you know, I carried with me from conference. Conference is a big thing that they're talking about naming for ambassador right now, because tickets are going to be going on sale soon. It's going to be in February again. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And one of the things that I took away from that, I wrote it like all over my notebook. So 2 Timothy 1:7, Chad Kneller started it off with this verse, and lots of people echoed it afterwards. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. And so they read that verse at church on Sunday, and I thought, you know, like, it doesn't matter that it's not comfortable right now, that everything doesn't feel right about it. I mean, it's not, you're not wrong. You're never going to be wrong for like placing membership at a church, but you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't have that great feeling that it had the week before. But I still did it. I still walked up in front of the church by myself, and I repeated the confession of faith, and I placed membership, and I was really excited about it, and it felt good when it was over. But the point was that I still did it, even though I was a little bit scared or nervous or apprehensive or whatever. Like always, I don't go through those scenarios and think, how can I relate this to my business? But it just so happened that yesterday my dad was in town. My dad's a truck driver, and he comes into town like every other month or so. And yesterday we went shopping. We hit up the Labor Day sales for the girls to get some fall clothes. And I was looking at my outfits, like my clothes in the closet, and I like sometimes have this debate of like, do I want to wear an It Works shirt, or do I just want to like be normal today? You know what I mean? And I repeated this verse, like, that God has given us a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. And so I picked out the It Works shirt, the one that says "Hello Fabulous," and I put it on. And then as I was out and about blitzing, I don't know when it will get comfortable for me. It's still not, but I thought, okay, here's this verse that has been on my mind. You know, God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power and love and a sound mind. And so, you know, you just get to a point where you just have to do it. And I kind of had this, now this is going to sound a little bit dramatic, and you don't all have to go around thinking that your kids are going to, you don't all have to go around thinking that your kids are going to die, but that's how I had to get it in my head. Like, okay, I had to, oh my gosh, this is so dumb. Okay. So I had to get it in my head, like, Jen, like something as dramatic as your kids are going to get taken away from you if you don't talk to this person. Like, if you do not start a conversation with this person, somebody's going to come take your kids away from you. So if that were the case, if that were real life, would we all be blitzing fools? Yes, we would. Like, if someone came and said, I'm going to kidnap your kids if you do not go blitzing today, then we would all be blitzing all the time. And so I just kind of had to tell myself that, like, if you don't start a conversation with this person, something's going to happen to your kids. Now, please, I'm sorry. Like, please don't judge me for that. I don't really think that anything is going to happen to my kids if I don't blitz. I just wanted to get myself in that mind frame of like, you have to do this. And so I started lots of conversations yesterday, and actually it wasn't so bad. Normally the conversation started because I was in someone's way. I mean, you've got me pushing Reagan in her stroller. Hadley's begging my dad to get her one of those red car strollers. And so, you know, he's grandpa and he does it. So it's my dad and me. And I'm always thinking like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't think we're a couple. Like, I hope it's obvious that this is my dad and not my husband. And we're pushing these two girls in these giant strollers. And I'm in everyone's way. And so normally the conversation started because I was in their way and I had to say, sorry, excuse me. Normally they had kids. I was like, oh my gosh, your kid's so cute. And then our kids start talking, and then we can start talking. And it was really scary going into the day, but by the end of the day, I was that crazy person talking to everyone, and I was okay with it. Just starting the conversation, you know? So I wanted to start our week off with those experiences that I had based on this verse, and just remembering that it is going to be scary sometimes, but it's still God's plan for us. Like, God's still putting us in those situations because he wants us to grow, and because we're still going to be okay afterwards, right? And it's not always going to be scary. It's not always going to be scary in those situations, but we've got to put one foot in the front of the other, and we've got to just do it to get to that point where it's not scary anymore. So, I don't have a prayer written for you. I can take a picture of this. I wrote the verse out in my book, and I can take a picture of that and send it to you if you want, so that we can all be praying over it together. But yeah, that's kind of like what has been replaying in my mind and what I wanted to share with you guys. And then just wanted to remind you about the Zooms this week, and that I don't know what the topic for tonight will be. They'll announce that soon. Also, there will be a wrap party on Thursday, a team wrap party. So if you've got loyal customers or potential loyal customers in mind, be messaging them today so that once they post that, we can get those invites sent. And remember last week when we did the opportunity one, we messaged people saying, you know, I know we've been talking about this. We have this team, like a really awesome team party coming up. Can I send you, I thought you might like an invite so you can read over some more information. And so just be thoughtful, message, 5 to 10 potential customers or loyal customers, and get those invites out. When I'll share it in the group when it's posted, so we can get those invites out. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, concerns, comments, you can unmute yourselves and share them. I feel like always, I feel like I had something in my head that I wanted to share, and then I end up just rambling. But the point is that I had some things happen that I was scared to do, and I just felt like I had to just do them anyway. Hold on, I did want to, let me go grab these sermon notes real quick, because there was a note that I took on there that I wanted to say. Okay, so the sermon on Sunday was about connecting with people. That they went over this term. Here, I missed. Do you want to bite? Do you want to do it yourself? Here you go. Here, you do it. There you go. I think Reagan might be left-handed. I don't know how to teach a left-handed kid. But she just grabbed the spoon and fed it to herself with her left hand. I don't know. 9 months old might be too. It's probably too early. So they went over this term, koinonia, which means a commonness or mutual connection. And obviously they're talking about in reference to the church, in reference to Jesus, in reference to the disciples, like that first church being together. But what I wrote down was something that he said that struck a nerve with me, or just resonated with me. I wrote shared life together. And so much of my business right now is so many of my leads right now are with people that I've made life connections with. People who have kids of the same age, or I've been trying to be more vulnerable about our life, the bajillion times a week that I fail as a mom. Really, those times are when I feel like I connect most to people. people who say like, man, I'm glad I'm not the only one that has a kid that throws fits or whatever. And I feel like that's something that this group of women has allowed me to see, that, you know, it's not only about this business, but it's sharing life together. But I want us to keep that in mind, because building this business is going to be what used to be, because of social media, throw up a quick before and after and get a few leads from that. It's not really like that anymore. And the quality of your team is going to be better because we're sharing life together, because we're making these contacts that Reagan Joe, you are being rude. Oh my gosh, you're so cute though. It's gonna be these contacts that we've made because we've connected on some other level, because we've connected with something else. So whether you meet someone in a Facebook group and you just become friends with them, like, make it. I just felt like I needed to make it my goal to make more friends, and the business part of it would come after. Share life together. Be vulnerable. Be open. And make those connections, those life connections before, and then the business part will come after. Can you say hi? Say hi. Hi. Say hi. Hi. Hey, hi. Okay. So, do you guys have anything for me? I'll keep that out. This out. No, we cannot have that. Okay, I'm going to stop this recording.